What cheer, y'all? Well, continue with our Kentucky Derby contender profiles. We're going to talk about one of the more polarizing horses on the Derby Trail this year, without a doubt, and that is Sandman. The S is for late runner, a closer. We all know that. You see, this one's trained by Mark Casse, whose barn has been going pretty darn well right now. And you got Christian Torres had been in the irons, but for the Arkansas Derby, it was Jose Ortiz. I'm not sure who will be riding him this time, but if Jose's on him, that certainly would, I think, upgrade this one's chances. This one has had some issues along the trail, but certainly seemed to have has finally put it all together in the Arkansas Derby, where he got his best, ran his best race, and he couldn't be going to the Derby in much better form. Take a look at the pedigree, and you see that again. He's got a higher genetic strength value score than journalism. I think that has more to do with Tappet being a stallion who's been around maybe a little longer, and you've got distorted humor underneath. So I think that would have something to do with it. But again, we don't put a whole lot of stock in it. But it is, suffice it to say, 60 is pretty good. It's usually one of the higher numbers when you get into the 60s, so it's a good thing. DI is 3.24, that's fine. And you do see a couple of, you see that 2, the fourth number there, that's solid, and that is a stamina influence. And we all know that it's a pretty good bet that Sandman's not going to have a problem with the distance. You look down at the Conduit Mare profile, and you see it's skewed a little bit towards stamina, just reaffirming things. And what's more, Tappet is a have to. She can't sing. Who was a filly who had plenty of two-turn success, so 1/800,000. So I don't think the pedigree is a problem. Not something we're going to worry about a whole lot with Sandman. We do have other concerns, though. That's for sure. Now we take a look at the running lines, and we look and see that again. You do see that nice progression, more particularly at 3, it's been pronounced. You see the class rating going up 118, 119, 120, put it all together 123 in the Arkansas Derby. You do see the thing that's nice to note is with the Arkansas Derby, the Rebel, and the Southwest, race rating staying about the same. So the fields were pretty much the same consistency throughout, yet his class rating's going up. So this is a horse, he's definitely getting better. And we like to see that. Now, we do have the issue, did not have it in the Arkansas Derby. He broke extremely well, I thought. And Jose gave him a really nice ride. But this horse will have problems in the gate on occasion. You see step slow, bumped, broken tangle, most notably in the Southwest Stakes. We all remember that. But maybe he's put it all together. Mark Cassie's a nice trainer. And, it's certain that they'll be working with him to get things in gear. So there's a lot of things to like. You will note that if I had one thing, and this is nitpicking, I'll admit it, he's had 4 Derby preps. Now, he needed the races, without a doubt, to work out some of the kinks, and we all saw it. And then he peaked. I hope it's not a peak performance in the Arkansas Derby. That would be my only concern. And you also note, if you watched our prior postings, Contender Profiles, Journalism, 108, Brisnet number, Sandman career high, 101. So a little needs probably to get faster. And what's of extra concern, and we're going to get into this when we do our elements of handicapping, so I don't want to give too much away until we put them all together. But take a look at that late pace number of 88 in the Arkansas Derby. That's pretty slow. And he had pace to run to. That's true. And he closed well. That's also true. But I think he did the majority of his running early. Look at those early pace numbers. He's never come close to that before. 94 and 108. which means he got going a little earlier than he normally does, which is good. I like to see that from a late runner when they engage earlier. It does, to me, shows the sign of improvement. But it also kind of took away a little bit from his late punch, and that's what he's going to have to rely on in the Derby. So that's a little bit of a concern to me. So I have some mixed signals about this horse. I think he's headed in the right direction. There's no doubt about that. He's been getting better, but he's a Tappet, and there's just issues. And we all remember Tappet Trice a couple years ago. Won the Bluegrass, and then the Derby, everything came right back, and he was right back in the same quicksand he was before between the ears. So he requires guarded optimism, in my opinion. I would just say that. So our first take, what are the positives? He seems to be getting better. He seems to have solved his gait issue. Jose did a great job with him last time, and that's extremely important in the Derby, that he doesn't blow the race right off the bat. So if he can continue to get out of the gate well, that will certainly help. Not as imperative for a later runner, I grant you, but it is still important. Always want to get out of the gate well. Speaking at the right time, he just came up with a 123 class rating. That was higher than journalism ran in the Santa Anita Derby. But was it too much too soon? A little bit of a lingering issue there. Stamina, he can go all day. We're not worried about that at all. The negatives, field of 20. Again, we can say that about all of them. But in his case, it's significant for this reason. He's going to be coming from behind, which means he's going to have to work out a trip. He's going to have a lot more horses he's going to have to deal with than he has previously. So that is an issue. Pace scenario. He's not going to get the same setup he got in the Arkansas Derby. I highly doubt it. I think the pace will be decent. It'll probably be a little on the quick side because it normally is in the Derby. You get a horse who's keyed up, they're nervous, big crowd and all that, and they freak. Sometimes it can happen. Don't think he's going to get that type of scenario from a couple years ago that Rich Strike got. But it's important to, it is, I think he certainly needs the pace to work in his favor. The big concern, probably the biggest I have of all, is tactical speed. This horse doesn't have any. He's a freight train. You basically get him going and get out of the way. If he has to work out a trip, I think he's at a major league disadvantage. So they will have to gear him to the outside and hope that he can bring it. Finish. Again, the Arkansas Derby, not the kind of close that visually it looked like he was closing well, but the numbers speak otherwise. He outlasted the rest of them, but he had to do a lot of running early. So you wonder if coming into the stretch, maybe that's going to sap him a little bit. We'll see. Old habits die hard. When you get 150,000 people at Churchill Downs, 20-horse field, does he revert back to all the things that he had problems with before? You saw in the Arkansas Derby, he's still not a finished product. He was swerving in and out. He still has some greenness to him. So, he's a horse I can go either way with. It just has mixed signals. There's a lot of positive. There's a lot of negatives too, and that's why he's been such a polarizing horse on the Derby trail. But Sandman, if he can get it all together, he can win the race. He can. He's going to need a little bit of help, but I think the talent is there. We'll just see if he can put it all together. So that's Sandman. I hope this helps with your own assessment, and you've got some reference to go back to in the future. And I just hope this helps. Much more content on the way, more Derby contender profiles, as well as our elements of handicapping after that. And so we will have you covered there. We'll try to do it for the Oaks as well, time permitting. You do like content like this, of course, please like and subscribe. And thanks again to all of you who've come on board. And the comments are just fantastic. And just keep those coming. I'm just going to keep saying that because I love it. And I think it's going to help us all in the end. So keep it up. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon. And until then, be well.